Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now previously I did a video looking at the top 10 hardest N64 bosses, but today I want to do a little bit different but kind of similar, whereas I want to look at what I think are the top 10 best bosses of the N64. So regardless of difficulty, I want to talk about the ones I like the most. I'll make that very clear, I like the most. Any boss from the start of the game to the end of the boss to super bosses, it's all up to you. As always, to make this channel grow, if you think I deserve it, please hit that like and subscribe button and let me know about which boss you think I should have mentioned and which one I should have talked about, and what are your memories with some of these bosses. As always, we've got a weekly podcast where this week we're covering Dragon Quest III, and we've also got a $1 a month Patreon where you can find the link in the description below. Now, let's get into it, shall we? The top 10 best N64 bosses. At number 10, King Bob-omb. Is it Bob-omb from Super Mario 64? Okay, this isn't exactly a hard boss, this is a very easy boss to do, but the reason why I essentially included it on this list is for nostalgia purposes. Let's be honest, he was probably the first boss we all fought when playing the N64, because no doubt all of us had Super Mario 64 on the console, and he's not a particularly hard boss, and he's just there really to show off the analog stick. That's exactly what he's there for, but I don't care. At the time, I was blown away by Mario 64, as I was Tekken 2 at the time, although I know that's on a PlayStation for anyone shouts, but those are the two games which really took me into that 64 whatever era, the 32-bit 64 era. I was absolutely blown away. So this boss, although it's not the best, I appreciate that, will always have a special place in my heart. At number 9, Monster Ock from Spider-Man. Now, I will also say, this is probably much better on the PlayStation or the PC, because there are cutscenes in the PlayStation 1 and in the N64 it can't do them, so it does these comic book strips. It's terrible. But the reason I remember this back when I was a kid, was that when you play the game you have to face Carnage, and then once you beat Carnage, the symbiote removes itself from Cletus, and then all of a sudden it goes on Doc Ock, and then you just have to run away from Doc Ock as quick as you can, and oh my god, it's freaking terrifying. You're essentially swinging in blind corridors, which just makes it even harder. And again, the N64 version doesn't look very good, but I include it in this list because of the epic feel I had, and also because I could dress Spider-Man up as the Scarlet Spider, and that's always going to be a win for me. Again, if you want to play this, don't do it on the N64. The PlayStation version is much better, but it's just amazing playing as the Scarlet Spider. I'm all for it. At number 8, Master Hand from Smash Bros. Yes, Super Smash Bros. Was a experiment, and I don't really think it even should have worked, but it somehow did. And the final boss for every character in the arcade was, well, the Hand. There's Master Hand, because he's the one who picked up the statues. Yeah, it's an odd boss. Again, I don't think it's one of the, well, I say I don't think it's one of the best. I don't think it's one of the most ingenious. I include it on this list because it's just like, the fuck? It's a hand, and he's the final boss. And somehow, they made it the final boss, it worked, and it became the final boss going forward. Although I know there have been other things with Master Hand and other versions later when it got to Ultimate. I can easily know that. Okay, I know there's Master Hand, there's Crazy Hand, there's other versions. I know, we all know Smash Brothers, come on. But at the time, it was just like, how the hell did Nintendo think and sit there and go, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a hand the final boss. Of all the things we could do, we've had Bowser, we've had Ganondorf, we've had Ganon. Fuck it, let's just make a hand. Literally, they must have been scraping the barrel for that one. But I don't care, it works. At number 7, Andross from Lilac Wars, or Star Fox 64. We always have to put that because someone will say, they'll shout at me, I don't care. I've talked about Andross before, and there's another boss that's going to be appearing on this list I've talked about before, but this boss was goddamn epic. The boss fight starts in like a rail shooter where you just have to kind of destroy his face, but once you've done that, the real battle begins. We are facing a giant-ass brain, which has eyeballs as dog fighters connected by electricity for some reason, and then it can disappear, reappear with these tentacles which will absolutely destroy you if you're not careful. It's absolutely balls hard, it's a pain in the arse, but it's still good fun to do. But the best bit, and probably the most epic bit for me, is when you're beating the boss, Andross wants to do a Hail Mary and take you with him, and you have to try and escape from where his lair is. and you're trying to go down these paths, and all of a sudden another R-Wing appears in front of you, and it's your dad. It's James McLeod, who went missing years before, and he's like, Fox, follow me, and I'm like, no, I'm going this way, and then you die. But if you follow him, it's just so cool. It's like, oh, Daddy, what's going on, Daddy? Did you kill Slippy for me? Did you kill Slippy? Please tell me you killed Slippy. He didn't, unfortunately. But it's just a good way to end the game. My God, what a game Star Fox was. At number 6, it's Wizpig from Diddy Kong Racing. Yes, Wizpig is considerably higher in the hardest bosses of the N64, but here I've only got him at number 6 for my favourite because it is still fun. Not the second one, it's the first one which is the fun one. Because first of all, I never expected I'd be actually racing against a giant-ass pig. And then, to be fair, I thought I'd be racing him in a cart or a plane, not him actually running. Like, holy shit, for a big guy, that guy can move. He is off. And if you don't know what you're doing, you lose. It's simple as that. You need near perfection with the driving, making sure you get all the boosts and using all the tricks. And if you don't do that, you're screwed. And he wins, restart, do it again. The second one is much easier to do, but it's the first one which causes all the problems for everyone. And guaranteed everyone who commented on the previous one are going to comment about here about how difficult it was, but how goddamn awesome it was at the same time. And number 5, Ganon from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, let's be honest, this was always going to appear at some point, but probably people didn't think it was going to make number 5. People may have thought it was going to be a bit higher. Yes, this was an epic way to finish the game. You beat Ganondorf, and then you have to escape from his castle as it's all crumbling around you and on fire, and then when you think you're free as the castle falls apart, then basically Ganondorf turns up again and goes, not so fast, sunshine, I want a rematch, I'm pissed off, and turns into his true form, which is a giant-ass pig. And I didn't know much about that when I was playing it because, well, let's be honest, I hadn't played Link to the Past or the original Zelda. I'd only played Link's Awakening and it doesn't really hint at that. So I was like, what the fuck is going on here? How is he a big-ass pig with these 2 big-ass swords? But the battle was cool because you had to fight him with no Master Sword because he smacks that away. And then eventually, after basically ducking between his legs and hoping to not get hit by his Mega Dick, you then hit his tail. And after a few hits, the firewall goes down and you can run out, get the Master Sword, and the battle begins anew. The thing is, well, nothing really changes in that final little bit, but what's cool is when you finally done it, Link stabs him in the head! Like, holy shit, did he just stab him in the Master Sword in the head? Yes, he did. Frickin' brutal. Like, it was a great way to finish Ocarina of Time. What a way, what an epic quest. I didn't expect him to stab him in the head, although saying that, come the GameCube version, he do it again. So Link has an obsession with stabbing things in the head. At number 4, Daio. Is that how you pronounce it? From Goemon Mystical Ninja. Let's just put it out there, I love this game. If you've been following this channel for some time, I love Goemon. I think it's an absolutely fantastic game. And this boss is just the final piece of lovely fruit. Cherry on the... Shut up, cherry on the cake, I don't know what I'm saying. Either way, I love this boss. I love fighting in the Impact Robot. It's so much fun, and this time it takes place in space and is the final battle of the game. Now, Daio, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. He has the after-image technique because apparently giant robots can do that. So you want to try and get him with your hook shot arm thing if you can. He also has a habit of coming in with you with a shield, and you've got to try and get rid of the shield, or he'll use his tail at you, or he'll fire multiple balls at you, don't cut that, and you've got to try and then use your money, I love it's Rio, to try and just damage all the balls before anything can hit you. It is quite a challenging fight, and it took me a few attempts when I was a kid. Nowadays I know exactly what I'm doing, but it's just so much fun, it's so wacky, it's so stupid, and I just love it. Like, it's a great game, and I was still pissed off I've only had a second one after that, and that's all we ever got. For God's sake, just give me more of this. At number 3, it's Phantom Ganon from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Yes, we're going to Ocarina of Time again, and it's Phantom Ganon. Yes, not even Ganon, the one where he's a horse phantom thingy. Look, the reason why I like this, it was the first boss you fought as adult Link. What's cool about this boss battle is that when you walk in, you're like in a circular museum covered by paintings all around you, and then you're locked in. And how the battle works is that, well, Phantom Ganon is basically charging down multiple pictures, and you've got to try and work out which one he's going to come out. One of them he's actually going to pop out, and that's when you shoot him with the arrow. The others just bugger back down where they came from. It's like the Harry Potter scene where Dumbledore's brother rocks up, but this time it's a phantom Ganon on a horse. So you do that several times, which is cool, and then he decides to get out, whip off his mask, and then you're playing bloody ball tennis. Again, don't cut that, and that prepares you for later on with the final boss. But it's so cool, but it introduces you to the idea where the ball gets hit between you both, and it gets faster and faster every time until one of you makes a mistake. It's an early boss in the game, and I still love it, but it still gives me that epic feel I'm playing this amazing fantasy adventure. At number 2, the Great Mighty Poo from Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'm not even going to talk about how this boss battle goes. I just love the setup of it. It's a Great Mighty Poo that sings opera at you. What more do you need to know? I don't even care about anything else. I just love the fact it sings at you. It's absolutely goddamn fucking glorious. It's one of the best bits in the whole game. Fun fact, I actually got my dad to sing this for the podcast when we covered it, yay back in the beginning of the show. So I'm going to try and add it here. I've tried to mess around with the audio and see what it sounds like. But this is my dad doing the Great Mighty Poo.
Me. I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I'm gonna throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat? Do you really think you'd survive in here? You don't seem to know which creek you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? I'm getting really rather mad. You're like a niggly-tiggly, shitty little tag nut. When I've knocked you out with all my bob, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my butt.
Your butt?
My butt. My butt. My butt. My butt.
And finally, Mewtwo from Pokemon Stadium 1. Yeah, okay, probably some of you would not have this at your number 1, but I did. For the simple reason, I love Pokemon, I really do. And getting to fight Mewtwo one-on-one after doing all the gym leaders in Elite Four was just so goddamn cool. Okay, let's look at the second battle because the first one's a piece of piss, but the second time when you fight him, he is balls hard. He's got amnesia, he's got psychic, he's got recovery, he will hit you hard. Now, you can go in with a full team of 6 if you want, and when I played as a kid, I didn't really still understand how Pokemon work with its stats, so I was getting absolutely bodied and thinking this is really difficult. Now it's actually quite easy because you just use Thunder Wave, and the strategy here, just use Chansey. Yeah, Chansey's an absolute god and can just time stall him and basically make sure he uses all his moves, so he's got no chance of beating you. Yeah, seriously, Chansey was broken in Generation 1, as was Amnesia, but that's another fact entirely. And that's it, my top 10 best N64 bosses of all time. Again, if you think this is wrong, let me know in the comments, or let me know about your memories. That's what I want to hear, and I love reading them all. Until then, I'll see you all for another video. My name's been Danny, take care of yourself, follow your dreams.